And good morning. This is your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and this is your P-47 Thunderbolt. This is a video that is being created for a family friend of mine, so D, this one is for you. The P-47D was a direct result of the P-43 and XP-44 that you see in the line for multi-role fighters. And a guy named Alex Corelli, if I remember the name correctly, uh, conceptualized the fighter and brought it to fruition. Now, this is a large aircraft by anybody's stretch of the imagination. It weighed over 7 tons. Give you about twice the cost or weight cost of a Spitfire. So if you can imagine that, and this thing was extremely competitive, and it had two roles: high altitude fighter and fighter bomber, and there were reasons for that. The high altitude fighter is because part of the reason this was so heavy was a 2,000 horsepower engine in the front, and the entire rear of that very bulbous airframe was for one reason: it held a full-size turbocharger in the back. And the reason they went to a turbocharger was because there was no parasitic loss to it. So it made it an extremely effective fighter at high altitude. It took a while to get the kinks out of the aircraft, however, because, for instance, ignition harnesses did not want to work correctly, and there was a lot of arcing and sparking going on. And various other components were freezing up that had to be heated. The machine guns fired from an open bolt, which is great for making sure that your machine gun doesn't overheat the rounds and set off rounds spontaneously when you don't expect them. The bad side is when you're at 30,000 feet, it can freeze the gun up solid. So they actually had to heat the gun base, believe it or not. It had to be pressurized with some variants. So it was an interesting aircraft that has a lot of production history behind it. It was reputed to be right behind the P-38 and some of the fastest diving aircraft that there were, and it had its own battles with compressibility, something that wasn't understood at the start of the war. And in fact, it wasn't understood very well until towards the end of the war. And it could have things happen like the lock the control surfaces on the P-38, and when they tried to power the way out of it, they tore the airframe in two. So it was a kind of an interesting aircraft. Shall we go after this TAC center here, Dave? This is nice and close. Now this is reputed to be quite a fast aircraft. This is a Tier 6 aircraft. It is, however, already at 654 with virtually no modifications on it. And I had to clip that tree just because I could. Alright, so we'll go throw some bombs in the middle. I've got a plane on my tail. Hopefully my buddy Dave can rescue me here. If not, it's all on me. I've got a 2,000 horsepower engine. Maybe I can roll my way out of it. And Dave just blew him off my tail. It's nice to have friends.
It's vital to have friends.
Yeah. Okay, so we've captured this, and now we can go capture something else. So there's a TAC center right over there. You can go get that. And because I still have rockets left, I can go blast something with that. If I can survive long enough. That's going to be the challenge here. Oh good, we get some friends. Okay. And we've got about 8 seconds of boom on this. Boom. Boost, I should say, but to me it's boom. Watching those. And I noticed that somebody's after my friend Dave here. So I'm going to try to return the favor and turn this big long-nosed bastard around and light him up. Now I have no less than 8 machine guns on this thing, which can really light up your life, having been on the receiving end of these once in a while. It also takes a very, very long time to overheat the guns, which is kind of nice. Alright, we own the area now. We have 2 zones, and we have a mining zone right over here, and might be a good idea to see if we can take that up. I have a KI-61 trying to come in. See if we can disabuse some of that. And you notice he went away very quickly. Yak-1M, a very maneuverable aircraft, one I do not want to get into a turning contest with. But somebody else lit him up for us anyway, so we will switch to the next target. Basically, if you can get guns on somebody with this aircraft, it looks like you can take them down pretty quickly. And he wants to ignore me while he goes on firing. And I believe we'll just abuse him of that notion. And there he goes. Now that is 4 aircraft almost as fast as I could put guns on. And there's number 5. Now, I'm giving the impression this is the greatest fighters since Swiss cheese, but it is not. What it is a great gun platform, because it doesn't turn worth a tinker's damn. But it is, with 8 machine guns, the fact you can't overheat the guns, at least it's really going to take a lot of effort to overheat the guns, and you've got a lot of boost on it. It makes it a more versatile aircraft than you would thus be supposed from the raw numbers. Alright, so I was wrong there. That was the 5th aircraft. If this fellow wants to go head-to-head with me, I'm more than willing to do it. We've got a lot of very good pilots in here, and this is really making me look a lot better than I think the aircraft necessarily is. But the gunfire is real.
Receiving reports about rapidly deteriorating weather conditions. Support will be unable to reach you. Do you read me? Over.
And we have an IL-2 that is trying to sneak in below us while we are busy fighting with other fighters. And what we're going to try to do is get in on him and not crash the aircraft doing it. Remember I said this is a very fast aircraft in a dive, and brother, it will make a believer of you very quickly. See, I have an aircraft, well, it may just be the tail gunner.
That's it. There's no way to break through to you now. You're on your own.
Okay, we're going to come on around. This is a leisurely turning aircraft, and it will make you a believer very quickly.
Keep it up. Victory is almost ours.
F4U coming in, and this thing has got vicious guns and vicious guns at a distance. So we're going to try to light him up the second he comes into my range. He's also more maneuverable than I am. Those big old wings got to matter for something, right? Well, but it's not that much more maneuverable than I am. I think I'm trading in quite a few points to him, but it was enough to stay out of his way long enough to let somebody else get him. And that's fine. Get ourselves turned around here. And the thing, it's just got blown up, but that's the end of the aircraft. So, D, this one is for you. It really behaves like a fighter bomber, and in the role of the multi-role aircraft in this game, it's fast. For its size, it's relatively nimble. It behaves at altitude better than it should, though I don't find either the speed or the altitude limitations on the aircraft to be representative of what it actually was historically. But that being said, it's very much a fun aircraft to fly, and if you want to get one, come on into the game and join us. You're more than welcome. This is a fun aircraft to play, and anything that's silly enough to get in front of it, we collectively, this aircraft either assisted or destroyed 14 aircraft. Not too bad. So a nice outing for it. That was all done with a singular aircraft. There were no respawns with it. Rather fun for a multi-role. And came in third there. My buddy Juan came in. Dave from Down Under. Say hi, Dave.
Good game, mate. Good game.
Came in
Yeah,
second.
unfortunate to lose, really.
Yeah, we didn't lose for once, right? Okay, we've had a rough run this morning, or this afternoon, depending on which continent you're on. But there it is. Very good aircraft. Enjoyed it quite thoroughly. Dee, this one's for you, babe. You take care. Say hi to your husband for me. Hope things are going wonderfully for you too. Bye-bye.